Hi everybody, welcome to Ocean Lanes for the first annual Chumash Casino Professional Bowling Association Regional Open. I'm John McReynolds. Alongside is professional bowler Lindsey Wong. Lindsey, you hope to be out there yourself right now.
Yes, I did. Unfortunately, things didn't work out today, and I'm helping out with the telecast today.
Now you're a broadcaster. All right, before the action, let's go to Greg Ratcliffe.
Thanks, John. Before we get underway with the final matches of this tournament, we have some presentations to make. Some presentations from the Pro-Am division that was held earlier this weekend. To make the presentations is John Money, the assistant manager here at Ocean Lanes. First up, from the Junior Pro-Am division is our winner, Dan Adrian. Next we have from the Adult Pro-Am division, who is not only the winner of the trophy, but also a tournament sponsor from his business out of Santa Maria, Roman Castles, Paul Roman. Gets a trophy and a check.
Oh,
congratulations,
nice
Paul. Also, we have a winner from the senior division, Raul Ramirez, who is not with us tonight, but we want to thank him and congratulate him in absentia. I'm sure John will take good care of his trophy and check until he can pick it up. Now I know John would like to say a few words about the tournament and his sponsors. John?
I just would like to say I'd like to personally thank the Chumash Casino for being our main sponsor. I'd also like to thank the Quality Inn and Executive Suites for giving all of the sponsors a place to say, all the pros a place to say. And I would like to personally thank Mike Fredericks. And on behalf of the entire staff here and the management, we'd like to thank all of the PBA players for coming down here to Ocean Lanes and bowling.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out. This is the best fan support that I remember we've ever had for a regional event.
Really?
Crowd was great during the afternoon. It made the pros bowl a little bit harder. We really appreciate all the support. We've had a great time here at Ocean Lanes. We're looking forward to continuing this relationship, and hopefully we can be back next year.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations to the winners once again, and now we'll send it back to John and get this tournament underway.
Well, what's happened here since Friday, 75 bowlers, professional bowlers, drawn from the National Tour, the National Senior Tour, and the Regional Tour, have been here in Lompoc. Friday night, they had their practice rounds, and on Saturday, they began qualifying. That ran all day Saturday, and that narrowed the field from 75 down to 16. 16 bowlers all day today have been on these lanes trying to figure out now who would earn the right to these last 5 slots. Lindsey, as you were hoping to be one of those 5,
Yeah,
but you know these guys real well.
Yeah, unfortunately, again, like I said, things didn't work out today, and I'm here helping out in the show. But yeah, we have several quality bowlers on our top 5 today. Our tournament leader, who led from basically game 1 till now, to this point, after all 26 games, was Barry Gurney from West Hills, California.
You know where West Hills is? It's by Calabasas.
Really? I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I had to ask his wife.
Great. And our second place qualifier from San Diego is a youngster here on our tour, Michael Cowles.
He's the youngster. Barry Gurney's 57 years old.
Yeah, Barry's part of the senior tour on the PBA tour. So now both of them have done very well here qualifying. They've stayed ahead of third place qualifier Ross Packard from San Jose. And Ross Packard shot a 300 earlier in our match play this afternoon. And Ross is also one of our veterans. Yeah, he's been on the regional tour, I think, 16 years?
24 regional tournaments to his name?
Yeah, he's got a number of regional titles to his name, and so
they call him Dad on the tour, isn't that right?
Yeah, he's definitely a father figure to a lot of guys. So.
And who do we have in the 4th and 5th slots?
4th and 5th slots, bowling in our first match, will be Chris Preble from Fresno, California. And he was the Rookie of the Year for the PBA Western region in, I believe, 1993. And our
Former Fresno State bowler,
yeah,
right?
yes, he did. He bowled for Cal State Fresno, and enjoyed a wonderful career there, and has moved on to here to bowl the PBA. And now 5th place qualifier was Mike Taylor from San Diego, California, and he made a big move. He shot a big 247 game his last game to qualify in the 5th spot.
He was 8th earlier today.
Yeah, he was. He made a huge jump from 8th up to 5th.
What struck me about this, Lindsay, is that you have 2 old timers,
Yeah.
as old as I am, in Gurney and Packard.
Right.
Then you have 2 young guys who have never won a regional event.
Right.
In Cowles and Preble.
Right.
And then you have a guy, Mike Taylor, who's in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some age ranges here.
It's a good mix, and again, it just shows that bowling can be done by anybody at any age. It doesn't matter whether you're old or young. You know, if you have the skill to do it and enjoy it, it's definitely something you can enjoy for a very long time.
And when you look at the crowd out here, you can see that all ages are out here.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
The Professional Bowlers Association has crowned a new champion in Lompoc at the first annual Chumash Casino Western Regional PBA Open, and it was a huge success. Ocean Lanes in Lompoc invited PBA, regional, and national players to put Lompoc on the map of the PBA Regional Tour. Watch this event on Comcast Channel 22 in Lompoc and Santa Maria, or watch future commercials for rebroadcast times and dates. Call the number on your screen and leave your name and number, and we'll call you back. Finally, professional bowling in Lompoc.
I'm here with Mike Fredericks, the Western Regional representative of PBA. Mike, as regional tournaments go, how is this event fared?
Oh, this has been one of our better events. The great fan support. This is probably the best that I've ever seen of any regional. A lot of times we need prompting with players. It hasn't been needed here. These guys have been great bowling fans.
That's these fans right here. They know they're bowling.
These fans right here. Yep, these are the ones. There we go.
Yeah, we could probably get them to applaud for you, Mike.
Yeah.
And how about the Chumash Casino? Have they been pretty important in pulling off this event?
Oh, they've been at all. And without them, we wouldn't have been able to be here. I know a lot of the players appreciate it. We went over to the casino for a little while and made a visit, and we really appreciate their support. That's why we're here.
Does it surprise you that an old gaffer like Barry Gurney is in first place here?
Oh, not at all. Barry's a great player. He's had a really good year this year. He's coming back off of an injury. He looks strong. He's practiced hard. It doesn't surprise me at all.
All right, it's a great tournament. We'll be back to the action. Hi everybody, welcome to Ocean Lanes. We're here for the first annual Chumash Casino Professional Bowlers Association Regional Open. I'm John McReynolds, and I'm joined by professional bowler Lindsey Wong and by my old-time sidekick Greg Ratcliffe. What's happened? Where are we right now, Lindsey?
Well, we've had just our first match between Chris Preble and Mike Taylor. Mike Taylor defeated Chris Preble 212 to 190, and Chris has now finished 5th and will be taking home $700.
And Chris was the 4th seed.
He was
Mike
our
Taylor
4th
was the
seed.
5th seed.
That is correct.
And Mike now qualifies to bowl against who?
He's going to be bowling against Ross Packard.
A grand old man.
Yeah.
Bowling. And it's already underway,
Yep.
and people are cheering
That match just started as we speak.
as we speak.
Ross Packard, the number 3 seed in the Final 5 matchup.
And he's a crowd favorite, wouldn't you say? I mean, he's been around so long.
Yeah, Ross is definitely a really nice guy. I think a lot of the players respect him, and a lot of fans love him. I mean, it's great.
He's one of the lefties we have left here.
Very nice shot by Ross.
Does being left-handed give him an advantage, Lindsey?
A lot of people will say, yeah, it does, because there are not as many left-handers that bowl, and so their side of the lane does not change as often as the right-handers. A lot more right-handers bowling on a lane. The oil that is on it will dissipate, go away, and change on them. And on the left side, it doesn't do that as often or as quickly.
Ross up now for his second shot. Goes over to lane 21 and gets a double working.
Good shot by Ross, a little light. Mixed him up.
Is Ross considered a power bowler, Lindsay, or a finesse bowler?
Ross is a very he's a finesse bowler. He's very control oriented. He real accurate. He just plays the lanes nice and simple.
Here's Mike Taylor over on 22. Looks like he's left the 10 pin.
10 pin for Mike. Good shot. And he should have no problem making the spare. He's a very good spare shooter, very experienced at this. So.
Does Mike use the same ball for his spares as he does for his first shots?
No, I don't think he did this week. A lot of players nowadays use two different bowling balls, one for their strike ball, one for their spare ball.
Good solid spare there for Mike.
Yep, good job.
Both of these guys have a lot of experience. And Ross has 24 regional titles, and Mike has, I think, about 12 himself.
Yeah, both of them combined. A lot of experience between both of them.
They call Ross Dad on the tour, isn't that right? He's been on it so long.
Yeah.
Grand old man.
Well, someone said they call him either God or Dad.
I think a lot of people probably call him God more than anything, because he just is so amazing in what he does. It's so consistent from tournament to tournament and from year to year.
Meanwhile, Mike left the 9 pin there on 21.
Again, should be another easy spare for Mike. Well done.
A couple of back-to-back spares there for Mike.
They say that age is finally starting to take its toll on Ross here. He's beginning to go to a chiropractor once a week for his back.
Don't we all? Looked a little strong on the head pin there, but it carried through.
That was a good shot, solid shot by Ross.
A lot of nice pin action on that.
Yeah, bowling can definitely take its toll after the years. I mean, at this level, most of the guys throwing 15, 16-pound bowling balls, doing that over and over again, 1,000 shots for a tournament, just again uses a lot of muscles, a lot of just moving things in your body. Looks good. Very nice. That's 4 in a row.
Ross Packard with a 4-bagger going on.
Well, did we say earlier that he has the only perfect game, the only 300 game rolled in this tournament so far?
That's right. Ross earlier today shot a 300 game and is continuing that here.
It's a third of the way home right now. Mike Taylor now to see if he can answer.
Looks good.
Nice shot. 7 pin a little slow to go down, but it fell. And that's all that counts.
As we saw in the graphic earlier, Mike had averaged, I think, 216 for the entire tournament. Scores were a little bit on the higher side this week. Qualifying, definitely you had to average at least 220 or 200.
Is that something you can attribute that to, Lindsay, or just everybody having?
Another good shot by Mike.
Nice strike by Mike to stay in the game.
Why the high pinfalls, Lindsay?
Today, this week, there was a pretty good condition out on the lanes. The way where the place where the oil is put onto the lanes can either help or hinder the scores. This week there was a little bit more oil. There was a little more oil in the middle of the lane. And we saw another strike for Ross.
5 in a row.
I was just handed a note that the Fisher Pro Shop is putting up $250 for any 300 game on our show.
Wow, that's great. That's wonderful. So Ross is well on his way to achieving that.
Wouldn't that be something on the first telecast of bowling? We come up with a 300 game on TV.
We won't tell Ross that right now. But I
hope
don't
he
want to
doesn't
put any
jinx
extra
him.
pressure on him. He's perfect through 5.
Looks good.
Oh, we jinxed him.
Just a little thin on that one. Leaves at 3, 9, 10.
Ross won a doubles tournament last week. The California doubles.
Who did he bowl with for that?
Good question. I'll check my files on that.
All right, we'll get back to you on that one.
How difficult of a pickup is this, Lindsay?
This should be a pretty easy spare for Ross. It's I take
Pin
that
in the
back.
corner, didn't want to drop.
Yeah, again, it's
So after 5 strikes in a row, Ross Packard has an open frame.
as we take a look at the scoreboard. That allows
Mike Taylor now with an opening, and he grabs it. Seizes the opportunity. He's now got a 3-bagger on the board.
the 3-0 for Mike, gets him right back into the match.
Ross Packard's first televised match was on national television against Earl Anthony.
Yeah, that's a tough task. Earl Anthony, one of the greatest bowlers ever.
Taylor
That looks
looking
good.
for 4 in a row. There it is. Packard opened with 5 strikes. Now Taylor comes back with 4 of his own. Turning into a very close match all of a sudden.
Mike threw a lot of strikes in his final position round game to jump from the 8th position all the way into our stepladder finals.
Here he is up in the 7th.
Good shot by Ross. A little light in the pocket. Leaves a 7-pin.
Should be no problem for him. I always have trouble going cross alley that way.
Yeah, quarter pin spares are definitely the more tougher ones. You have the penalty of the channel and the wide open space to the middle.
That looks pretty good.
Good spare by Ross.
Ross is 51 years old, and he's about to retire from General Telephone. He's a purchaser for GTE. And after 30 years on the bowling tour, I asked him if he planned to go on the senior tour. He said, no, I don't think so. I think he'll continue doing what he's doing now. Just almost every weekend.
And right now he's doing it very well.
Whoa, let him get the shot.
Good solid hit for Ross.
Lindsay, say a little bit about the difference between the regional tour and the national senior tour.
Well, the regional tour, the PBA is made up into 7 different regions. The western region, which we are in, which encompasses California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and Hawaii. The bowlers from that area, as we see another strike by Mike, now has 5 in a row and has taken the lead in the match.
Mike Taylor coming on strong.
As I was saying, the bowlers from that area of the country bowl in tournaments. We travel around every 2 or 3 weeks or so, and bowl at different cities on the weekend. The National Senior Tour is a part of the PBA that travels around the nation.
Great pin action on that hit, and Mike Taylor is on a roll. 6 strikes in a row now for Mike.
That 1 in the 9th is very big. Sets him up for the 10th frame.
Always nice to have that strike in the 9th.
Ross needs this one.
Got it.
Very nice.
Needed that one to stay in the game.
Is there a psychological advantage to being the 5th seed, knocking off the 4th? Isn't there more pressure on the guys that are seated higher?
Sometimes there is. There may be a disadvantage in the fact that the guys coming on haven't been bowling on the lanes as much as the person who's lower in the step ladder. And they'll have a couple games under their belt, get used to what the condition is and how the lanes have changed. So tough break for Ross. Very good shot. Solid 7-pin. He needed that one to put some pressure on Mike Taylor.
Just to reiterate, Mike Taylor was the number 5 seed, and he knocked off Chris Preble to win the right to this match against the number 3 seed, Ross Packard. The winner of this match takes on the number 2 seed, Mike Cowles, who then, and the winner of that match, would then take on the number 1 seed, Gurney.
Yes. Oh,
Just barely clipped that 7-pin.
never a doubt.
Never a doubt.
Never a doubt. Ross had it all away. With a strike in the last ball in the 10th, as we see the scoreboard, Ross will finish with a 234. Mike Taylor working on his 6 strikes in a row. Has a possible 269
Holy smokes.
if he gets all 3 strikes in the 10th frame. So Ross with the
Finishes with the 233.
233.
Picked up 9 on that last ball. Very
people-
respectable game.
People all week have commented on the strength of his field.
Yes. Oh, good shot.
Look at this guy go.
Good shot by Mike.
There's only one of the final 5 finalists, or the final 4, I should say, who had not won a regional title.
That's right. Mike Cowles is the lone non-titleist in our field, and he'll be now facing the man you see there, Mike Taylor, in our next match.
And I'll tell you what,
Very
Mike
nice.
Taylor is looking awfully tough right now.
Taylor is hot.
He is locked in. He is locked in. With this finals fill ball, again, he'll end up shooting a 269 if he throws a strike on this last ball.
And he has thrown strikes his last 8 balls.
Yes, he has. Very nice.
I'll tell you what, that's one fine game of bowling right there.
And Mike Taylor was 8. When we got here earlier this afternoon, he was number 8. He wasn't even going to be in the final stepladder playoffs.
He had to
Now
rally just to get
now
here
he's
to
on,
the show.
on fire.
He's definitely taking advantage of that opportunity. Yeah, again, just part of today's equipment that is out there. The bowling balls are very powerful. They hook a lot, and you just have to know how to control them and know what to do with them.
The makeup of the balls these days has changed so much from it was.
Oh
in
yeah,
the past.
yeah, definitely. I mean, back in the early days of bowling with the hard rubber bowling balls, back in the 1950s and 60s, and now we're using bowling balls that are just no comparison. The reactive resin bowling balls that they are using are just amazing in players' hands. As we see our first shot,
Gentlemen, we're underway here in this next match.
Mike Taylor.
On a pair of mics here.
Very good shot for Mike Taylor, continuing his string from the previous game.
Is that 10 in a row now?
He's
Between the
locked
last
in.
two games?
Would you, after this match is over, just
He's in the zone.
First shot by Mike. Oh, looks good.
Solid pocket hit.
Lean in over our shoulder.
Answers with a strike of his own.
This was here. This was here.
Mike Cowles was the third place qualifier after yesterday, and as we see, he averaged 225 for the entire tournament. So our first round qualifying, he averaged a phenomenal 230 for the first 10 games.
He left himself a split this time.
Looked a little slow with the ball speed. He didn't quite get it out to where he wanted it to on the lane.
He's the 4.710, which I suspect is a little easier than the 7.10 by itself.
No split is real easy, but this may be.
Tried to carry that 4-pin over and went just behind the 10-pin.
You know, these two fellows know each other. They're both from San Diego. And Mike Cowles told me earlier that he always has considered Mike Taylor the best bowler in San Diego.
That is true, Mike. I would consider Mike Taylor one of the best bowlers out in this area, in California, in our western region. I mean, he's been bowler of the year back in 1995. He was the PBA's Western Region Bowler of the Year, and then when he first started back in 1983 in the PBA, he was the Rookie of the Year. So he definitely has a lot of accolades to his career.
So could Taylor go on the national tour? Is there any reason he couldn't?
Actually, I think Taylor did bowl on the national tour for a little while, and was successful. He made a television show. Actually, I don't know how long ago it was. It was a while ago. It was back in the 1980s. He made a television show, and yes, he was very successful. But yeah, he has the talent.
Due to time constraints, we interrupt this semifinal action between Mike Taylor and Michael Cowles. We return late in the match with Taylor holding a decisive lead.
Lindsay, can Mike Taylor close this out now?
Yeah, the good shot here.
Mike, 6'10".
Yeah, a little left of target on that one. Got it inside his target. And went through the nose. Again, left a relatively easy spare.
That's down nicely for a spare. Taylor with a comfortable 44 pin advantage at the moment.
Good shot in the foundation 9th frame. Set himself up for the 10th frame.
Ready to finish off strong.
Well, I guess we see why Michael Cowles considers Mike Taylor the best bowler in San Diego. But then he goes through streaks where he's cold. He must have been pretty cold on Saturday.
Well, he's picked the right time to pick, I think.
Oh, very good shot by Mike.
Michael.
Sets himself up in the 10th frame.
Perfect time to do that.
With, unfortunately, with the 3 strikes in the 10th frame, the best he can do is 181. And Mike Taylor already has 175 without anything in the 9th frame. So Taylor's pretty much locked this match up.
Cowles looking to finish off strong and has a good showing for himself, though. Yeah. Pair of strikes there.
Mike Cowles bowled great this whole weekend, and it unfortunately will be taking home 3rd place. Good for $1,000. A good week this weekend, so I'm sure we'll be seeing more from him in the rest of this year and the years to come.
Michael Cowles. Finishes up with a 166.
166 for Mike. Yes, again, unfortunately, just wasn't able to put it together during this match.
Taylor sitting on a 175 with a strike working in the ninth.
Oh! Good shot by Mike.
What he wants to do now is keep his momentum going for this next match. Keep on track.
With a spare and a full count in the 10th, he will finish with a 205.
And there's the spare part.
As I was saying earlier, Mike Taylor has made the most of his opportunities. He qualified 16th after the first 10 games and is qualified 5th here for our stepladder. So
He's barely inched in each occasion, but he's roaring from behind. And now the only remaining obstacle is winning this title is the guy who is the man who's led from day one, Barry Gurney. And you know, if I could take a second, everybody, we are joined here right now by Miss Bowling herself, Essence Harris. Essence, maybe if you went on this far side, they could see you better.
sure.
Essence Harris right there, look at the camera there. Essence Harris from Cabrillo High School and now Southern University, right? And you're on the national junior bowling team, Olympic. And how did you win that?
Well, I qualified in the spot for California state singles, and from there I got a spot to bowl the nationals in Reno, Nevada, and bowled and qualified for the team.
How did Southern do this year?
We finished undefeated in the SWAC in our conference, and we're currently in the top 25 in the nation.
But you didn't get into the playoffs.
No, we didn't make it to the national qualifier.
Somebody doesn't like you or what? Somebody doesn't like you or what? You should have been in it. What's your average now?
Right now I'm averaging a 196.
You could be on the national tour before long.
I don't know.
Barry Gurney had some nice things to say about you. He called you a potential star.
That's nice. I don't know what to say.
I don't mean to embarrass you. What impresses you about the tournament?
The high scores. The scores are fantastic. Their accuracy, the way how every player stays focused in the shot. And it's just real exciting to watch them bowl and how they keep the intensity up. It's a real nice thing to watch.
So is that a contrast to the college game? Is there less intensity there?
No, there's intensity out there in the collegiate bowling. There's real high intensity. Everybody focuses. It's a real nice atmosphere out there.
You've got an international trip coming up soon.
Yes, the Junior Olympic team will be going to Bogota in August, I believe. So I'm looking forward to that.
For a week or 2
For a
weeks?
week. For a week.
How many nations will be to just...
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
That'll be dynamite. Do you miss Lompoc? Tell us yes.
Yes. I miss my home. I do.
Is it a lot different in Louisiana?
Yes, yeah, it's a real different atmosphere. I want to say it's more country. So.
Looks like we're ready to begin our next match.
Okay, I think we're ready for our next match. Essence,
Thank
thanks
you.
for being on. We'll see you on Lompoc Locker Room before long. I think we're ready for action.
Well, that was nice of her to drop by. We're about to get underway here in the finals match of this first ever Chumash Casino Western Regional PBA Open right here in Lompoc.
Our number one qualifier, Barry Gurney from West Hills, makes his first shot. Little right of target.
How important is it to start off with a strike? He would have liked to have a strike there, right?
Oh yeah, I think definitely would like to start off strong. Put the pressure on Mike right away. Send him a message that hey, this is my tournament. I'm not going to let it go. So.
And Barry was throwing a lot of strikes there in warm-ups, I saw. All of a sudden opens up with an 8.
Good, very good.
Nice spare there. Put it one down later.
Barry Gurney tore a rotator cuff last July in his right shoulder. He bowls with his left shoulder, but he said that it caused him so much difficulty in balancing that he had to take a couple weeks off, and his average suffered by about 10 pins. And it's only been early this year that he's begun to get back.
Mike Taylor. Good shot by Mike.
Gives a solid 7.
Now, how would a rotator cuff in your off shoulder have that impact?
Well, the bowlers use your opposite arm for balance, so it's important to have that arm functional, to balance out the other side that's carrying 15 or 16 pound bowling ball. So if you have problems in that arm, that shoulder, you can't really move it a lot. It's not very mobile. It's going to cause a lot of problems with balance and obviously your bowling ability. So.
Yeah, there was some question if he even thought he could return. He's been on the National Senior Tour for 7 years.
Mike picked up the spare, and we're all even after 1. And follows with a strike in the second.
Good shot by Mike.
Puts a little pressure now on
Barry.
Barry Gurney.
Gurney was a heavy equipment operator for the city of Glendale until he retired, and decided, hey, I can do this. So for 7 years, he's been on the senior tour. Has 3 national senior titles and 3 regional titles.
As you said, John has been consistently good all tournament long.
Good shot by Barry. Barry was also the player of the year twice. In 1995 and 97, is that right? That's what I have in my notes here.
We're checking that, Lindsay.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the it's the Southern California Bowling Writers Player of the Year. That's what my note says. And obviously, Barry being from Southern California.
He's from West Hills. I had to ask where West Hills was. It's near Calabasas. I knew where Calabasas is. West Hills.
Calabasas is right next to West Hills.
Thanks, Greg.
Just trying to help, John.
In case you were interested, Barry is not his given name. It's William Barrett Gurney, and Barrett was for, we'll come back to that. Taylor's on fire.
Very powerful strikes from Mike on that one. Mixes up the pins, gets himself a double.
Mr. Gurney has his work cut out for himself here, I think.
Well, finishing my story about the Barrett, he's related to the poet, Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
Really?
How about that? Yeah. In fact, the Barrett is the same Barrett as in her name.
Well,
We have literary allusions here on the Casino Open.
not only is he a good bowler, he could write about it afterwards.
That's right.
Taylor now on 21. Solid strike.
Taylor's got the momentum, doesn't he, Lindsay?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He has the all the confidence from the previous 3 matches, and has all his experience from the past. So he definitely has the upper hand. But Barry, the veteran, has some tricks up his sleeve. Good shot there.
22 misses with a strike of his own.
And they're all even through 4.
The other thing Barry Gurney does, he gives away old bowling equipment to kids. His wife says he ships so much stuff to the East Coast, she wishes he'd give more to kids in the West because it costs a lot of money. But he has his own chat room on the internet giving advice to kids. So he spends a lot of time doing that.
That's great.
Well, that's good, sharing the secrets of the success.
Yeah, that's definitely something that a lot of the older players and the more experienced players have to do to keep this game going.
Another strike here tonight to keep on the pressure, and there it is. Quite a finals match we've got going here, guys.
One of the things that Michael Cowles said earlier today about Barry Gurney is that he's never out of his game mentally. That he won't beat himself. And maybe that's what the older golfers, the older bowlers can particularly use, because they're not as strong as they were when they're 30.
That's true. The mental game is definitely such a big part of bowling at this level.
Mike leads the 4-7 on that one. It's important for him to pick this spare up now.
At this level, the players are so equal as far as skill and talent-wise that a lot of it, the difference comes down to the mental aspect of it, experience-wise and knowledge and what you know and what you've learned over the years. So again, just like any other sport, with baseball or football or basketball, many of the major sports, even golf,
Spare in the 5th for Mike Taylor. Up on 21 now in the 6th frame.
Oh, good shot.
Looks good. Nice solid pocket hit. Taylor strikes in the 6th.
I think
Barry Gurney with a little opening now, though.
People in Lompoc need to realize, I think, what terrific bowling we're seeing here. Barry Gurney in his career, 7-year career, has earned, I lost that one, $130,000.
That is a pretty good chunk of change. Ooh. Not a very good shot by Barry on that one.
That's almost $20,000 a year, right? 7 years, 130 grand.
That's what the math works out to.
On the senior bowling tour. So
A strike there from Barry would have given him a little bit of a cushion. Now he needs to pick up this spare to keep the pressure on.
Difficult spare. Same one as he had in the first frame. So hopefully you should have no problem with it. Very nice.
Works him right down the middle like he did last time.
Very nice.
He's got that one down. So this is the left-hander versus the right-hander, and the wily veteran versus the younger champion. Two very talented.
And the front runner against the
yes, the number 1 seed
come
against
from
the number
behind,
5 seed.
Right. The guy charging from the rear of the pack against the guy who's led. I asked Barry earlier if that put more pressure on him. He said he thought it did, and he pointed to Parker Bone's problems to show that.
Oh, looks like a good shot.
Well, every time you say that, Lindsay.
I don't want to jinx him, but
Nice pin action, but the 3 is left standing.
I promised I'd mention Barry's wife, Joanne. She goes everywhere with Barry.
it's great to have the support of wives and family, especially with traveling on the road. It takes a lot out of you. You're living out of a suitcase from week to week, from event to event, and to have that support with you is tremendous.
And what a very nice lady she is. It was nice to get to meet her.
Now, each bowler who's won a tournament on the regional tour has a banner, and the next time we see the pins falling, we may be able to see Gurney's banner directly above the pins on lane 22. And to the right of that, you see Taylor's banner.
Leaves a 3-6-9.
Not a very good shot by Mike. A little left of target again. Needs to convert the spare to continue to stay ahead in the match.
Nice pickup by Mike. It's not a real easy spare, is it, Lindsay?
No.
A lot of things can go wrong with that particular.
Yeah, the 3-6-9 combination is very difficult. You can miss it in a lot of ways. You can chop it. You can miss the back pin, the sleeper 9 pin. But Mike did a very good job on covering that spare. Needs this one.
21 down.
Good shot. Tough break for Mike.
Solid 10 pin over there.
Did you say earlier, Lindsay, that when you leave the 10 pin, that does not mean it was a bad shot?
No, yeah, definitely. 10 pins are part of the game, and you can make the best shot of your life and not strike. And that's one of the exciting things about bowling. It's like you don't know. A lot of times it may seem unfair that you're not rewarded for the best shot, but you are rewarded for maybe not your most quality shot and get away with it. So things even out. Bowling, it's real funny. A lot of stuff like that happens.
Gurney with a solid hit on 22.
What's the score basically here, Lindsay?
Looks like to me, with that strike there in the 8th frame for Barry, he is trailing by 1 pin behind Mike Taylor.
Can't ask for a better championship.
This is a close one.
Very good match, very good match.
Gurney now over on 21. Might to get a double going here.
Oh, get that.
Look at that pin action, folks.
You like that one?
Very like it.
Very important. 9th frame. Sets himself up for the 10th frame, and he cannot be shut out by Mike Taylor. Even if Mike Taylor goes off the sheet, gets all 4 strikes in the last 4 deliveries, Barry can get up in the 10th frame and win this tournament.
Still has a chance. So all the pressure's on Mike right now.
Mike taking his time.
Needs to answer with a strike of his own here in the 9th.
Oh, hold that.
Hit the head pin a little too solid. Leads the 4-7.
Easy spare for Mike, but not the ideal.
A must get here, Lindsay, isn't it?
He needs a strike. He needed to spare, but he definitely needed the strike more than anything.
Good finish on that one for the spare in the 9th.
Taylor goes off with all 3 strikes here in the 10th frame. He will finish with a 226.
So Barry Gurney could surpass that.
Oh yes.
One.
Good shot by Mike.
Very nice second shot.
Mike Taylor taking his time.
Being very deliberate now, concentrating, getting his ball.
He rubs that ball. He polishes that ball more vigorously than any other bowler out here.
Bowlers like to have a nice clean surface on their ball. The balls that rolls down the lane will pick up oil. May cause it to do funny things.
Oh, and that 10 pin again.
Another solid 10 from Mike Taylor. And he really needed to start there, I think, Lindsay, to keep the pressure on Barry.
Yes. And spare gives him final score of 215.
So it's now Barry Gurney's to win.
Barry Gurney basically needs a mark in the 10th frame. He needs a spare or a strike. Oh, look.
You got it.
He got it.
Should do it.
Good shot by Barry. He is your tournament winner.
Well, this is not Parker Bowden. This
No.
is Barry Gurney.
This is Barry Gurney, and he's shown why he led this tournament from the beginning to the end, and all the way through even our stepladder matches here.
Whoa, is he ending with a flourish or what?
Barry wants to finish in style.
An exclamation point on this weekend.
The fans are chanting Barry, 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 as if they were at what used to be known as Candlestick Park for a different Barry.
I think Barry Gurney can take this one to the bank. He will earn a fabulous $3,000.
Is that pretty good for a regional first?
Yes, it is. Very good job by Barry. Fabulous, 254.
Barry Gurney with a 254 is our tournament winner. Very nice score to finish off this weekend's event.
Barry Gurney
Is our winner.
is our winner, coming in off the National Senior Tour. He's shown now that his rotator cuff problems are behind him, and at the age of 57 does not mean that you can't win in bowling. I mean, he stopped Mike Taylor, who came from out of nowhere, virtually, to become the 5th seed today on Sunday, and then to fight his way all the way into the championship match, only to fail, to fall at the 11th hour to 57-year-old Barry Gurney, who I guess a year ago right now was riding high, but then was to fall with that rotator cuff problem in Boise, Idaho, and has not been the same since, but he's back now.
Yeah, Barry bowled great again the whole entire tournament. He very consistent, very, like you said, he played his game plan and just stuck to it, and didn't let anything get him down or got himself into trouble. A very good performance by Barry. A good performance by Mike Taylor in our stepladder matches. He very quickly disposed of the other three players and made his way up to the top to challenge Barry.
I think we're going to have a ceremony here for a minute. Maybe Greg can get a moment with Barry Gurney to ask his comments. But earlier, he reminded us that he's in the Southern California Hall of Fame and the Los Angeles Hall of Fame, and the senior all-star team for 4 years of Southern California, named by the Southern California Bowling Writers. And he brought 12 bowling balls to this, and that he used ebonite today, I guess, for those of you who are concerned about that. His biggest thrill, he said, was winning his first PBA national senior title in Lansing, Michigan in 1992, in his first year on the tour. So, and he calls his game both a power game and a finesse game.
Yeah, it looks Barry he can do it all. Like a lot of the players on our regional tour as well as the national tour, you have to be versatile. You have to learn how to throw the ball different ways. Throw it straighter, hook it more, throw it slower, faster. Just do different little tricks to be successful, because the lane conditions are going to change. There's not going to be the same shot out there every single time. And those that can adjust and adapt to the conditions will be successful.
And certainly Barry, with his experience, can adapt. I mean, as they said, he's got the mental game, and we saw that today. At some point, several points in that championship round, it looked like Mike Taylor had the momentum.
Yes, he did.
It looked like he had it. It was not a walkover by any means, and yet Barry just remained firm and stayed on his game. So.
Yeah.
And with us now for the final awards presentation is John Money from Ocean Lanes and Kirby Duncan from the Chumash Casino. John, present the trophy to our winner, Mr. Barry Gurney. Mr. Duncan, would you like to present the checks?
Yes, sir. I have a check for the second place winner, Mike Taylor.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. And the big check for the winner of them all.
Goes to my wife.
Goes to his wife. Barry, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Mr. Money, thank you. Ocean Lanes has done a great job putting on this tournament. We thank the Chumash Casino for participating, and we thank you all for coming to see us. Tune in next year for another second annual PBA event right here at Ocean Lanes. Thank you all for watching. Good night.